The unthinkable is being discussed right now in NFL circles, and it involves one of the Chicago Bears' most talented offensive weapons potentially ending up in the absolute last place any Bears fan wants to see him. Welcome back to Bears News Fan Report, your number one source for breaking news, insider analysis, and everything you need to know about our Chicago Bears. This is where Bears Nation comes together to get the real story behind every roster move, every strategic decision, and every development that shapes the future of our franchise. And what I'm about to share with you today involves a scenario so painful, so controversial, that it's going to test every ounce of loyalty and rationality we have as fans. Something is brewing that nobody saw coming just a few months ago. We're talking about a situation that involves our highest-paid offensive player, a receiver who was supposed to be the foundation of our passing attack for years to come, and a potential destination that would make every Bears fan sick to their stomach. The conversations are happening, the speculation is building, and we need to understand exactly what's at stake here, because this could fundamentally alter the trajectory of our franchise and hand a massive advantage to our biggest rival. Before I get into the specifics of what's being discussed, let me paint the picture of where we are right now, because context is everything. The Chicago Bears just fell to the Green Bay Packers 28-21 in a pivotal NFC North showdown that dropped us out of first place in the division. That loss stung not just because of the result, but because of how it happened and who failed to show up when we needed them most. We'll get another shot at the Packers at Soldier Field in a couple of weeks, but if we're going to actually beat Green Bay, we need significantly better performances from our key players. And that brings us to the heart of the issue. DJ Moore, our star wide receiver, the guy we gave a 4-year, $110 million extension to just this past July, had one of the worst performances of his career in that Packers loss. 1 catch for -3 yards on 3 targets. Let that sink in for a moment. -3 yards. In a game where we desperately needed our top receiver to step up, especially with Rome Odunze out of the lineup due to a foot injury, Moore was essentially invisible. And this wasn't just a one-game anomaly. This has been a troubling trend throughout the entire season. Moore's numbers this year have been shockingly bad for a player of his caliber and contract status. Through 14 games, he's caught just 39 passes for 498 yards and 3 touchdowns. Those are numbers you'd expect from a rotational receiver, not from someone who's supposed to be the number one option in the passing game. Compare that to his first season in Chicago, when he hauled in 96 catches for 1,364 yards and 8 touchdowns, with Justin Fields throwing him the ball. Or even last year, when he caught 98 passes for 966 yards and 6 touchdowns. The decline has been steep and concerning. Now here's where this situation takes a turn that's going to make every Bears fan's blood boil. Greg Rosenthal from NFL.com recently posted on social media that he doubts DJ Moore will be with the Bears next year, stating that Moore is a good player who will help whatever team he's on, just not Chicago. That statement alone sent shockwaves through the Bears community because it raises the obvious question. If Moore is going to be traded, where would he go? And this is where the nightmare scenario comes into play. Given the division rivalry, given the recent history between these two teams, given the fact that Green Bay is always looking for weapons to pair with their quarterback, there's legitimate speculation that DJ Moore could end up wearing green and gold. I know that sounds insane. I know it feels like the worst possible outcome, but let me walk you through why this isn't as far-fetched as it might seem. First, let's talk about the contract situation, because that's the key to understanding how this could actually happen. Moore signed that 4-year, $110 million extension in July of 2024, a deal that's supposed to keep him in Chicago through 2029. But here's the thing. That new contract hasn't even fully kicked in yet, and the Bears are already facing questions about whether they made a mistake. Trading Moore would be difficult because of the money involved, and the Bears probably wouldn't get substantial draft capital in return. However, moving him would save the team around $28.5 million in cap space for 2026, which is significant money that could be used to address other roster needs. From Green Bay's perspective, acquiring Moore would be a masterstroke. They'd be getting a proven number one receiver who has 3 1,000-yard seasons on his resume, a guy who's only 28 years old and still in his prime physically. More importantly, they'd be taking away the Bears' top offensive weapon and adding him to their own arsenal. That kind of move doesn't just improve your team, it weakens your biggest division rival at the same time. It's the kind of strategic acquisition that championship organizations make when they see an opportunity. Now let's address the elephant in the room. Why isn't Moore producing in Chicago? The most obvious answer is the quarterback situation and the offensive system. Moore thrived with Justin Fields under center during his first season with the Bears, posting career-best numbers. But since Caleb Williams arrived as the number one overall pick, Moore's production has cratered. Is that Williams's fault? Is it the offensive scheme? Is it Moore's effort level or his fit in the system? The truth is probably a combination of all those factors. Williams is a rookie who's still learning how to read NFL defenses, how to go through his progressions, how to deliver the ball with NFL timing and accuracy. He's shown flashes of brilliance, but he's also been inconsistent, which is normal for a first-year quarterback. Moore, meanwhile, spent 5 years with the Carolina Panthers before coming to Chicago, and he posted 3 1,000-yard campaigns during that time. He's proven he can be a number one receiver in the right situation. The question is whether Chicago is that situation, and based on what we've seen this year, the answer appears to be no. Here's where I need to be honest with you as Bears fans. As much as it would hurt to see Moore in a Packers uniform, as much as it would feel like a betrayal of everything we stand for as a franchise, there's a logical argument for moving him if the situation isn't working. That $110 million contract is a massive commitment, and if Moore isn't producing at a level that justifies that investment, then the Bears need to seriously evaluate whether it makes sense to keep him, or whether that money could be better spent elsewhere. The counter-argument is equally valid. Moore is a talented receiver who's proven he can dominate when he's in the right system with the right quarterback. His struggles this year might be more about the growing pains of integrating a rookie quarterback than about his own declining abilities. If the Bears trade him and he goes to Green Bay and immediately returns to his 1,000-yard form, we'll look like absolute fools who gave away a star player to our biggest rival. That's the nightmare scenario that keeps Bears fans up at night. Let's also consider the message this would send to the locker room and to the fan base. The Bears traded the number one overall pick to Carolina to acquire Moore back in March of 2023, along with Carolina's 2024 first-rounder and other pieces. That 2024 pick ended up being the number one overall selection, which we used on Caleb Williams. So in a way, Moore and Williams are connected in the franchise's rebuild plan. Trading Moore now, especially to Green Bay, would be admitting that the plan didn't work, that we made a mistake, and that we're willing to help our biggest rival just to get out from under a bad contract. But here's the optimistic take, and this is important for Bears Nation to hear. If the Bears do decide to move Moore, it would free up significant cap space that could be used to build a better supporting cast around Caleb Williams. We could invest in offensive line help. We could add multiple receiving threats. Instead of being tied to one expensive option, we could shore up the defense. Sometimes addition by subtraction is a real thing, and if Moore's presence is causing chemistry issues or if his contract is preventing us from making other moves, then trading him might actually be the right call for the long-term health of the franchise. The timing of this potential move is also significant. We're heading into the offseason where the Bears will need to make critical decisions about the roster, about the coaching staff, about the direction of the franchise. If the organization has decided that Moore isn't part of the long-term plan, then moving him sooner rather than later makes sense. Waiting another year would only decrease his trade value as he gets older and as his contract becomes even more difficult to move. Now, would Green Bay actually be interested? Absolutely. They're always looking for weapons. They have a proven quarterback who knows how to maximize receiver talent, and they have the cap space to absorb Moore's contract. Adding a receiver of Moore's caliber would make them instant favorites in the NFC North and would give them a significant advantage over Chicago for years to come. From their perspective, it's a no-brainer if the Bears are actually willing to trade him. So here we are, Bears Nation, staring at a scenario that seemed impossible just months ago, but now feels increasingly plausible. DJ Moore, the receiver we gave up the number 1 pick for, the guy we just extended for $110 million, could be on his way out of Chicago. And the destination that makes the most sense from a football perspective happens to be the one place that would hurt the most emotionally. Green Bay. Now I want to hear from you, Bears faithful. Would you support trading DJ Moore, even if it meant he could end up with the Packers? Do you think his struggles are his fault or the result of the offensive system and rookie quarterback? Would you rather keep him and hope things improve, or move him and use that cap space to build around Caleb Williams differently? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because I want to know where Bears Nation stands on this potentially franchise-altering decision. If you're loving this kind of hard-hitting analysis and you want to stay locked in on every development, every trade possibility, every strategic decision as the Bears navigate this crucial offseason, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. This is Bears News Fan Report, and we're here every single day, bringing you the breaking news and expert insights you need to stay ahead of the game. Bear down always. See you in the next one.